We have to accept everybody who they tell us they are, apart from middle-aged white men. You can't hit me like that, you know. And she went, haha, who's going to believe you that I've hit you?
Yeah.
So our society never sees men as victims.
It's wrong that women hit men. However, the fact that more women hit men than men hit women is an academic stat, because Greg Wallace accused of touching a woman's bottom. So this is like the latest iteration. So this is the latest accusation. So Greg Wallace, a male grocer, is now accused of touching a woman's bottom. And as I said when I saw it, I think I said it to you, I said, and apparently the Pope's Catholic. I mean, how is that possibly a headline in any bloody newspaper in the country or on the BBC? You know, and this BBC organisation, these media organisations, are the ones who roundly ignored the grooming and the abuse of thousands of girls over decades.
And that's because certain victims are not really victims, and certain offenders are not really offenders. But when we get the right victim with the right offender, so middle-aged, well-to-do women and an older white straight male, heaven.
Yeah.
That's heaven for the mainstream media. We've got our evil person and we've got our lovely victims here.
Yeah. And as far as I can see with the Greg Wallace thing, there's not a shred of evidence that he's actually particularly done anything wrong. It's just an assault, again, on the working class and the way the working class choose to live their lives and behave or whatever. That's what this is to me.
Everybody else has the right to be their true self. I'm gay, I'm campo, you accept me as I am. I'm black, but my dad was Jamaican, so I talk like this, man, and you got to talk to me like this, even though I spoke like this at school. We have to accept everybody who they tell us they are, apart from middle-aged white men. Because if we be our true selves, that's patriarchy, that's misogyny, that's racism, and it is the two-tier thing coming all over again.
Correct. Yeah. You can't be a white middle-aged man who touches a woman's bottom.
Well, I don't know about touching, but he got firstly in trouble because of crude jokes. If he wants to tell crude jokes, well, he's entitled to tell a crude joke. You're entitled not to laugh and call him an idiot and have nothing more to do with him. But he's still entitled to tell a crude joke, because who defines what a crude joke is? Because when we start defining those things, the people who have the power to define them will be the people we don't want defining them. It's just more controlling of who we are, our speech, our actions, our culture, and who we are. And I'm sick of it.
But even the touching the woman's bottom, and I know you're going to say that's not acceptable, but there's quite a famous video of a singer called Justin Bieber, I think.
Yeah.
When he was about 14.
On stage being groped.
Yes. Have you seen this?
Yes.
So this is a young boy. He was about 14 at the time. Famous, admittedly, becoming famous.
Yeah.
But a bunch of middle-aged women went over to him.
Groping him, kissing him.
Groped him, kissing him. He was uncomfortable on stage.
He was trying to push him away and everything.
Yeah. Why has that not been raised by the BBC? Sexual assaults.
Wrong victims, wrong offenders.
Yeah. So Greg Wallace touches a woman's bottom. It may have been they may have been flirting. It may have been a perfectly innocent bottom touch, as we've all done in our time, Nick. It may have been perfectly innocent. Cast headlines: Justin Bieber groped on film by a bunch of middle-aged women, kissed or whatever. Nothing. Why aren't they being hauled up for sexual assault by the police?
Our culture has a real problem with males being victims of sexual abuse. We saw it with the Johnny Depp case, even though that was sexual violence, that was domestic violence, when he filmed his partner, I forgot her name now, and he said to her, "You can't hit me like that, you know, and she went, haha, who's going to believe you that I've hit you?
Yeah.
So our society never sees men as victims. And I can understand that, because men shouldn't be victims.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't be the pussy crying, oh, look at me. So we shouldn't be like that. But we've got to a stage now where you can do whatever you want to men. And
Especially white men.
yeah, and no one seems to care.
Yeah.
Here's a stat that's in my book, all evidence from lots of reports.
We can't stop looking at that.
Well, no, because this upsets many, many women and many feminists.
You don't want to do that, Nick.
More men are victims of domestic violence than women.
Yes. That I don't agree. We've had this
Yeah,
before.
but the evidence is in the book. All the studies from all the universities, from all the reports. Men do more damage than women, but women do more domestic violence.
So there's a big difference, Nick, between a woman hitting a man hitting a woman. But there's very few women who could hurt me.
I'm not talking about damage. I'm talking about the fact we allow women to assault men.
Yes.
And even in our society now, most women and most people will not believe that's the case.
No.
The evidence is concrete.
Yes. Yeah. No, I can imagine that yes, frustrated women, I can imagine will hit men. But it's more of a protest than an actual physical assault. When a man hits a woman, that is dangerous, physically damaging to women, isn't it? That's why that stat, whilst it's fascinating, is effectively useless.
So are you saying it's okay to hit men?
No.
No. So I don't see your point.
Well, the point is, what I'm saying is that stat per se is useless because it's wrong that women hit men. However, the fact that more women hit men than men hit women is an academic stat because women hitting men will not do any physical damage. Men hitting women will do serious physical damage and can do serious physical damage.
Well, how about if I said women hitting men is the trigger that some men use to beat the crap out of women?
No, because men should not. You and I always talk about men's responsibility.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Men should not hit.
No, they shouldn't.
Yeah.
But if we live in a world where we're being told all the time that men and women are equal and women are independent and can do what they want and should be treated just like men, that's where that leads to. And I don't condone any of that.
I think if you're trying to give a tenuous link between fact, women hitting men then precipitates men to it, I don't ask it. Most men, I think...
No, that's documented in the book.
No, what I'm saying is most men don't hit women because the women are hitting them.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
What percentage?
50% of all domestic violence across the Western world,
yeah,
50% of that violence, the man and the woman are just as violent as each other.
Right, okay.
That's 50%.
Did the women start it, though? Or the women just defending themselves?
No. The women are the...
How is it? Hang on, how has this data even come to light?
They ask perpetrators and victims of domestic violence.
Who started it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this documentation has gone on for like decades from many countries across the Western world. This isn't debatable. The stats are out there. We just don't want this stat.
Yeah, but you're heading towards a conclusion, which I think is not justified, that the reason men hit women is because women hit men.
No.
Oh, right.
No. There's no justification for any of it. My point was, you seem to be saying it's okay for women to hit men.
No, I didn't say that.
I seem to be defending women that they can't do any damage, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we never should be hitting anybody in a civilized society.
I agree, but it happens. But what I'm saying is I'm less concerned about women hitting men as an issue in our society, as you should be.
Well, there's evidence and cases out there of men committing suicide because they're battered husbands and they don't know what to do about it.
How many?
I've no idea.
Yeah.
Violence against anybody is no solution.
I actually know somebody like that. Not who committed suicide, but I know a battered husband. He used to turn up at work with bruises, whatever, and he had a big wife who used to batter the hell out of him. And he'd come in with a black eye. He actually used to get quite hurt by it.
Yeah.
He'd come in with a black eye, busted lip, and we'd say, "What's up?" And he'd say, "What happened?" And he'd say, "Oh, I fell over." And
Excuses.
it was always the same excuses. Yeah, he actually separated.
The Johnny Depp case blew this out the water. This beautiful, petite, blonde, pretty girl he was dating is admitting, and lost the case, but admitting on tape, "Yeah, I do it, you. But who's going to believe you?"
Yeah, I think it's true. I think, what was I going to say? I think that it isn't right that women hit men, but they don't do as much. Don't do as. I missed my point.
think what we need to agree on this
I'm not agreeing with you.
is, no, you will on this, because we need to make sure we're not being accused of being misogynist, violent idiots here. The point we're both trying to make is we should never get to a place in society where we solve our problems with violence.
No, I don't agree with you.